What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 video. So I haven't actually done one of these how to make videos in quite a while now, and today actually marks 16 years since the first Spider-Man movie was released back in 2002. So I thought, to celebrate this, why not make a tutorial on how to make the human spider? So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so of course the human spider, that is the wrestler costume that Peter Parker wears when he fights Bonesaw in the first Spider-Man movie. And as you can see here, this is my attempt at trying to make a custom Peter Parker inspired by the Tobey Maguire version. I think it looks pretty cool. You know, obviously there's not a whole lot of civilian clothes in this customizer, but I really like the head. I think the head looks a lot like Tobey Maguire to me if he was a Lego minifigure. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So let's get started. First off, we're gonna keep the head because I like the head, but we're gonna go to helmet, and you're gonna go to ninja hood and make it red, like you can see here. Not this red, this one right here. Obviously, when the first movie came out, there were these Lego sets that were released, and there was one. I think it was one where he was chasing Uncle Ben's killer, and I think it came with Uncle Ben's killer. But there was like a Lego minifigure of the wrestler suit, and it had an actual headpiece and everything, and it looked great. Unfortunately, there is no piece like that in this customizer, so we're gonna have to go for the ninja hood, which isn't perfect, but I still think it looks pretty good. So yeah, we'll go for that one. Then once you've done that, you want to go to body, and we're gonna go all the way to the bottom here until we find the homemade suit from Spider-Man Homecoming. Obviously, there's a lot of different red pieces in this customizer, so you know you could choose anything else if you want to, but personally for me, I think that one looks the best, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Then for the arms, just make them red, and of course for the gloves, just make them white, just like the official Lego minifigure. Alright, cool. Now then, on to the legs. So for the legs, I just made them blue, just like this. I wish you could make them dark blue. I think that would look a lot more accurate, but unfortunately we can't really do that without it having like a little bit of detail here and there. So yeah, you kind of have to go with that. I think that still looks good though. I mean, I'll quickly check and see if there's anything better, but there usually isn't. Of course, you know, there's a lot more pieces now because of the Infinity War DLC and Cloak and Dagger and Runaways and stuff like that. So it's always good to check a second time, I guess. But you can see, you know, the Lego blue pieces, they're not that deep. They're a lot detailed. There's so much detail in them, and we don't want that in this, in these pieces. See, these are just for normal Spider-Man, so yeah. Yeah, I think we'll just stick with blue. I think that looks the best. So we'll go up here, go to blue. There we go, nice. I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Alright, now of course we'll move on to the abilities. So for the passive abilities, obviously Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, he was pretty intelligent. You know, he did well in class when he was actually there, and yeah, he was pretty clever. So we'll go with Techno Access. I think that makes sense. Obviously we want wall climbing. We don't need a grapple, and I say this, and some people don't really understand what I mean. Basically, when you choose a character, when you're making a custom character and you give them a swinging ability, so if it's swinging with a rope or actual webs or a chain or something, it gives them the grapple ability anyway, so you don't really need to select that. If you select that grapple ability, your character will just use a grapple gun, I believe, instead of the web or the chain or whatever you've picked. So you really don't need that if you're going to make a character that can web swing with chain or rope or anything like that. No mind control, no magic, no deflect. Crack Lego walls, yes, we'll have that. Fix it, yeah, in Spider-Man 2, there's that bit where he's, is he fixing his bike or something? I can't quite remember, but yeah, we'll have fix-its, I think that makes sense. Super strength, we'll have that. Rune tracing, nah. Portal create, no. Tracking, dig. We'll have tracking because that could be like spider sense, I guess. Alright, now then, on to tap square. We're gonna have fighting, so we'll select that. Obviously, there's still no way to shoot webs out of your hands, unfortunately, because that would be awesome. So we don't really have a whole lot of spider-like abilities in the combat, but at least you'll be able to swing around. For hold square, explosion attack, that doesn't make any sense, so we'll go with targeted lunge. For tap circle, I mean, is there webs yet? Let me see, is there webs? No, see, it's still arrows, which we really don't want. I would much rather have the webs, but yeah, so if you want, you could give him the arrows to make up for it, but I just think they look weird, so I just leave it. Shrink, quick teleport, force field, stealth. Nah, we don't need any of them. Hold square, not hold square, sorry, hold circle. We don't need any of them either. So again, you know, not a whole lot to do in combat, but I think this is more one of those creations that's just fun to swing around the city with, basically. Because you can make a lot of different versions of Spider-Man with this game, and a lot of symbiotes and things like that. It's just they may not fight as cool as you'd kind of hope they would. But hopefully that'll change in future customizers. And then, of course, we do want web swing. I'm going to toggle it. And I don't think you really need to change the color of it. See... You don't need to make it grey or anything. Just make it white. So just make it a default white. And of course, obviously make sure it's the web. Because there's lots of different options. And we want to make sure it's this one right here. Cool. Alright. Hyper jump. Yeah, I think that makes sense to give him a hyper jump. He could jump quite high. So yeah, we'll give him that. And then for the passive traits, health, we'll go with the red icon. Health type, standard. For the voice, let me see here. They all sound the same to me. I don't really notice the difference, so I'll just go with voice 1. Movement speed, just default. And, I mean, if you wanted to, you could make him a bit faster, because obviously Spider-Man is fast. It's just when you web swing in, you have one of these active... The web swinging animations are kind of weird and a bit too fast for me, so I prefer to just put it as default. And then for the target reticle, we'll go with the web, obviously. Alright, cool. So we've done the appearance, the abilities, the passive traits. We don't need any weapons. Now we just need to name them and choose a background image. So let's see if this is actually going to fit. The human spider. Is it going to fit? Oh, the human spide. The human spide. Okay, that's fine. But I bet this will fit. Yeah, but can you have it in caps, please? There we go. Hey, there we go. That works. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then for the background, we'll just go with the city. And that looks pretty cool. Like I said, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of abilities and stuff like that, but it's just a fun character to swing around with. So now, of course, what we're going to do is drop the human spider into the Chronopolis HUB World and see just what he can do. And here he is. This is, of course, my custom-made The Human Spider, made in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. Let's just get a good look at him right here. Looking very, very cool. Like I said, you know, it'd be great if we could actually have a headpiece that is more accurate to the official Wrestler Spider-Man LEGO minifigure, but unfortunately there's nothing like that. So the ninja mask, we have to deal with that. But I still think it looks good. You know, I've made this character many times, and the more I play as him, the more I like it. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much, the ninja hood. Anyway, what can this character do? Well, of course, he can attack like this. Unfortunately, he can't shoot webs, but he can web swing and stuff like that, so that's great. And of course, he can also target things like this, target objects and enemies, stuff like that, and take them out really easily, so that's awesome. And as for traversal, like I said, he can web swing, which I'll show you in a little bit, but of course he can also climb walls. He is Spider-Man, he should be able to climb walls, and he can. It would be great if they added I'll show you real quick just to explain that. If you see here, with Spider-Man, when he climbs walls, it's different. It's like that. I don't know why it's making that noise there, but that would be really cool. Oh, it's still doing it. Okay, that's weird. But it'd be really cool if you could choose crawling animations, you know. And if you're wondering why I've got Doctor Strange with me, it's a little joke, because obviously in the second movie, in Spider-Man 2, there's that scene with Jameson and Hoffman, and they're trying to work out what to call Dr. Otto Octavius in the newspaper, in the Daily Bugle. And of course, Hoffman, he suggests to Jameson to call him Doctor Strange, and he's like, it's pretty good, but it's taken. And then, of course, eventually they settle on Doc Ock. So that's why Doctor Strange is here. Just a cool little reference to Sam Raimi fans out there. Anyway, let's actually go fight some crime. We're gonna hyper jump like this. See if we can actually jump this building here. No, nearly. At least we climbed onto the wall, so we didn't smash our face into it. So that's good. Let me try that again. Nice. All right, cool. So you can see, you know, when you're swinging around with it in this suit, it's pretty cool. It's just a shame you don't have all the special webbing abilities, like you can shoot webs and stuff like that. That would be really cool, but hey, hopefully we'll see stuff like that in future character creators and LEGO Marvel games. I'm fairly certain this won't be the last LEGO Marvel game. I think there'll be more. I don't know how many more, but I would like to think there'll be another one. And obviously by that time I would imagine the customizer would have really evolved, because they've said they want to make it better with each installment. Not Marvel installment, LEGO game installment. So whatever the next LEGO game is, the customizer is bound to be better in that. Of course, we've got LEGO The Incredibles coming next, and they have said that there's a customizer in that one. I don't know what to expect from that one. You know, it might be a customizer that is like LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, or it might be a customizer that's like LEGO Ninjago. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good. I think the next LEGO game, though, will be more in line with the customizer that, you know, like this one, basically. Because Stephen Sharples, you know, he's been teasing big things for the next LEGO game that they're working on. Because obviously he's not working on LEGO The Incredibles. Another team is, TT Fusion. But Stephen Sharples, he's been teasing that we're going to see, you know, some cool stuff from this next game whenever it's going to get announced. And, you know, he teased last year that the customizer is going to get better with each installment. So the game that they're working on, I think the customizer will see some improvements on that one, definitely. If not LEGO The Incredibles. But we'll have to see. I really do hope LEGO The Incredibles has a good customizer, because it would be so cool to be able to make characters like Spider-Man and Batman in that world. You know, to be able to run around that open world that has a day and night cycle and fight random crimes. That just sounds perfect. To be able to drop iconic heroes like Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man into that world, and to be able to run around that city and things, it would just be cool. So let's hope it is a good character creator. But if not, then there's still tons of great stuff to look forward to from that game for sure. But yeah, I cannot believe it is 16 years since the first Spider-Man movie released in 2002. That is absolutely insane. I mean, that is one of those movies that has never got old for me. Like, I've never stopped enjoying it. It's just such a fun watch. Every single time I sit down and watch it, I love it. I thoroughly enjoy it every time. Alright, we'll just go back to Doc Strange real quick. There we go. And in case you're wondering, because we gave him strength, he can lift cars and stuff like that and throw them. So that's pretty cool. Whoa! Calm down, Tobey. Alright. Yeah, but the first Spider-Man movie back in 2002, you know, it's iconic. It's so nostalgic every time I watch it. I love it. Everyone says that Spider-Man 2 is like, you know, the pinnacle of Spider-Man movies. Like, it's the best Spider-Man movie of all time. And while I do love Spider-Man 2, I find that Spider-Man 1, I don't know, I find it more nostalgic when I watch it. I guess because I saw Spider-Man 1, you know, when it came out, and well, yeah, I saw Spider-Man 1 like as soon as it came out, so I was introduced to that version of the character straight away. I didn't like jump into Spider-Man 2 and then go watch Spider-Man 1. So I think when I look back at Spider-Man 1, I love that one more because it's just so nostalgic. You know, I know like pretty much every line, I know every scene, I know just everything about it is so memorable. And every time I watch it, it never gets boring, it never gets old. I love it so much. Mind you, that's not me saying I don't like Spider-Man 2, because I love Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is insanely good. And as for Spider-Man 3, I like it. I think it gets far too much hate, if you ask me. There are loads more comic book movies that are worse than Spider-Man 3. I actually think there's more good in Spider-Man 3 than bad. Yes, you know, there's some issues. You know, Venom was rushed. The symbiote storyline was completely rushed. But there's some cool stuff in that movie. I particularly like the fight between Peter when he's in the black suit and Sandman in the train station. I think that's awesome in the subway. That's a really cool scene in that film. So, you know, there's some good stuff in that movie.
If and you can spare the time.
But yeah, Spider-Man 1 and 2 are definitely better. It's a shame we never got Spider-Man 4. You know, I love where Spider-Man is in movies right now. I think Tom Holland is incredible as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He is my favorite, to be honest. I've enjoyed Tobey, Andrew, and Tom. I don't not like either of them. I like them all. I think they all brought something to the table. But for me, Tom is my favorite Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I just think he nails both aspects of the character. And I love where we are at the moment. I love the fact that Spider-Man could be in Avengers movies and stuff like that. That is just beyond cool. But I've always wondered what might have been with Spider-Man 4, you know. If there was ever a way to actually do that movie for everyone to come together and be like, okay, let's do it. Let's do one last movie. I would be so excited. It's one of those films that you'll always wonder what might have been. You kind of wish you could go to like a parallel universe and see, you know, like a parallel universe where Spider-Man 4 came out and see if it was good or bad. Sam Raimi, he wanted to end the franchise on a high note because he wasn't like satisfied with Spider-Man 3, so he wanted Spider-Man 4 to be like the best movie in the whole franchise, and he just couldn't get a story together, unfortunately. But I believe it was John Malkovich that was going to be playing the Vulture, and Michael Keaton, he absolutely killed that role. He was amazing in Spider-Man Homecoming. He made the Vulture, which is a villain I've always liked, but he's always been very, you know, comic booky, which isn't a bad thing, but he made the Vulture into one of the most terrifying Spider-Man villains. Like, just as Adrian Toomes alone, he didn't even need a costume to be scary. Like, that's how good Michael Keaton is as an actor. But John Malkovich as the Vulture, that just sounds perfect. As a more like classic version, that would fit the Sam Raimi version, like the Sam Raimi universe, perfectly. So that's always going to be a movie that I always wish happened. But, you know, oh well. I also kind of wonder what the Amazing Spider-Man 3 was going to be like. Apparently Peter was going to be bringing people that have died back to life or something. I don't know. I'm not like, there are these movies that don't happen, and even if they were going to be good or bad, you still kind of wonder what might have been. You know, you'd like to at least see it. But again, I'm really glad that Spider-Man is where he is in movies at the moment. I think it's been a long time coming for him to join the MCU, and now that he's finally part of it, I can't complain. But I'll always wonder what might have been with those other movies. The Venom movie, I am looking forward to that. I mean, that's a movie that could be good or bad. We'll have to see. I'm not going to judge it. I don't want to judge the movie before I've actually seen it. If it's bad, then it's bad. If it's good, then it's good. You know, I hope it's good. I'd never wish for a bad movie. You want every movie you see to be good because you love these characters. I love Venom. Venom is probably my favorite Spider-Man villain. I love the character so much, and I really hope they do the character justice, even if he isn't set in the MCU. You know, I really wish it was. I wish we could see Tom Hardy fight Tom Holland, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, so yeah, you just have to kind of deal with it. But hopefully Tom Hardy can, I mean, he's an incredible actor, absolutely incredible. I don't think I've ever watched anything with him in it and not enjoyed it. He's never really delivered a bad performance in my eyes. So I'm sure he can carry this movie. But yeah, I think they could make like a trilogy out of Venom. You know, if you introduced Carnage in the second one, or, you know, maybe we get to the anti-Venom story, or you introduce Toxin. I don't know. There's so many symbiote storylines they could take and take inspiration from and make like a whole trilogy of Venom movies. But we'll have to see how well this first one does. I see a lot of people online making pictures, like fan art of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and like half of it is Venom, the Tom Hardy Venom, and that would have been really cool if Tom Hardy was the Venom we got instead of Topher Grace. But oh well, you know. Can't help it now, unfortunately. But that would have been cool. That would have kind of fit much better. The thing is, the black suit isn't really something that you can just do in one movie. You kind of have to do it in like 2 or 3 at least. You know, like make a whole movie where Peter gets the black suit, and then the second movie that would be about Venom, and then, you know, you could have the actual fight. That would make more sense. So it would have been better if back then, when they did Spider-Man 3, they put the focus on the black suit for the whole movie, and he had it through the whole movie, all the way to the end. And then, obviously, Spider-Man 4, you could have Tom Hardy as Venom. That would have been pretty cool.
I hear that Demonics is hiring. Too bad they have such a bad reputation. And that name can't be doing them any favors.
Where can I find the simple life, man?
Whoa. Okay. Let's get out of here, because there's not a lot of room to web swing there. There we go, that's better. Right. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. This character, this costume, doesn't do a whole lot. He doesn't have a lot of melee attacks, or he can't shoot webs when he's attacking enemies, or anything like that. But I just thought to celebrate 16 years of probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a movie that's just very special to me. I just love the original movie so much. I just thought it would be great to do something to celebrate that. And yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to make the human spider. I don't think we're going to get to the point where we'll be able to make a better looking version of this, because, we've only got one more DLC pack coming for this game, and at least from what I'm aware of, I mean, who knows, maybe they'll do a secret surprise DLC like they did for Spider-Man and LEGO Marvel's Avengers. But as far as I'm aware, the Ant-Man and the Wasp DLC is the last one for this game, and I doubt it's going to add anything that would allow us to make a better looking human spider, but yeah. But by that time, this game will have a lot of customizer pieces, and if you haven't picked the game up already, I highly recommend it. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 is a great game, and with all the DLC packs we have now, and the fact that they've added almost every piece from those DLC packs, you can really make a lot of cool stuff. Like, the more they add, the more you can create. It's pretty crazy to see, like, if you just look at my videos, the amount of videos I've been able to make on how to make characters that aren't in the game, it's pretty insane. It really is. So I'm really looking forward to the future of this customizer, getting to see it evolve in the next LEGO game, whatever that might be, and getting to see how much better it's going to be, what we'll be able to do. There's a lot of people requesting stuff like it would be cool if we could have wings, it'd be cool if we could change the color of each piece individually. So like if there's say a Spider-Man piece, you could change the red to green and the blue to yellow. That would be amazing if we could get to that point. But we'll have to see. I am definitely excited though to see where they take the customizer next. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.